I'm Ken Ashbacker.
Ken Ashbacker?
Yes, I graduated in 1963. And when I was here, I believe the year was 62. The rock that was the school rock was a small rock, stood up maybe 2.5 feet. It was a smaller rock, and as a prank, several times that rock got hauled off by various people, guys from the dorm or other football teams from other schools, and it ended up in the Orange Grove or on Bonita High School football field one time, I remembered, and it was finally decided by this custodians that rock should be made more permanent. It shouldn't be moved around that much. It was just too light. It only weighed maybe 400 or 500 pounds, and it was too light to be there permanently and not be moved around. So they built forms around and dug a hole there to cement that rock into the lawn permanently. Well, the night before the cementing was to be done, a bunch of guys got together in the dorm and were talking about it, and I don't remember who the instigator was, but somebody finally had the idea that we should get a good substantial rock to put in there permanently, that we couldn't let them cement in that small rock as our permanent school rock. So the group of us got together. Somebody went and borrowed, I think Norm Zeller was kind of the head of this, went and borrowed Bob Richards' pickup truck. Bob Richards had the movie studio down in what was previously the church, I think down on 3rd there.
The former Olympic champion.
Yes. It was, Bob Richards was the pole vaulter Olympic champion.
Right.
And he had a pickup truck that they knew about, and so they borrowed his pickup truck and said, we decided we were going to go get a good sized rock to put in that hole for them to cement in. Well, about 20 guys, I suppose, we piled in that truck and some other cars, and we went up to a rock crushing plant behind Claremont to pick out a rock, load it on the truck, and bring it back here. We had some big poles for leverage and things to load this truck, the rock on the truck. Well, we got up there, found a nice big round rock on a pile, and backed the truck up, and with all the levers and the guys that we had there, we loaded that rock onto the truck. Well, the rock must have weighed a good 10 tons. It was a 3/4 ton pickup. Well, the pickup just sunk down to the ground, and the tires didn't blow. I don't know why, but they were almost down on the rims, and the side. I remember the pickup truck, the sides of it were bowed out. The rock was so big. And some of them said, well, we can drive it back like that. I didn't think so, and some of us didn't think we'd ever get anywhere without blowing the tires at least, and maybe doing some more damage on that truck. So we were debating over what to do there. Some of us were trying to say we couldn't take one that big, and some said, well, we can make it. And about that time, a car came by on the road. This was just right next to the road. A car came by, and it turned out to be a fellow that was working late, that worked at that rock crushing plant. He stopped and to see what was going on, all of us milling around there, and lights and so on, and we had to tell him then what we were planning on doing. We were going to take this rock back to La Verne to be our school rock. And he says, you'll never make it. And he just flat out said, don't try it. You're going to kill somebody or at least wreck the truck if you try that. So we decided, well, maybe we better not. He says, I'll tell you what, if you'll come back here at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll be back to the plant. I have to start early. Come back at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'll have a skip loader here and somebody we can load a rock on the truck, on one of our trucks for you, a flatbed truck, and deliver it right down where you want it. He said, I'll do that for you. If you don't try to take this one, you're just going to hurt yourself or something. So a small group of guys got together, not all of them, got together the next morning and went back up to the rock crushing plant, picked out another rock. It wasn't that big round one, it was the long one, and picked it out. He loaded it on their flatbed truck, and they brought it down and dumped it in the hole right there. Where that one is, that's the rock right there.
Well, how far down does this go, Ken?
That rock is about, as I remember, almost half of it is underground.
So
it's
this
a
goes
large
down.
rock. It's a very long rock.
So it goes down into the ground.
It goes
half
down
again.
inward. Probably almost half of that height, or half of the full height of the rock is underground. And as I remember it, the rock, what was above ground is probably shrunk some since I remember. This has been 25 years ago. Probably because of all the painting and burning off and scaling that's happened since that time. But they didn't move that rock. The custodians couldn't move it. Nobody could move it. They did straighten it up a little in the hole because it was leaning. But they took some pulleys and straightened it up, cemented it in, and there it stays. That's the rock that's still there.
No one's going to take this rock out.
Nobody's going to take that one.
They're not going to take it up to some orange orchard. Of course, the orange orchards are mostly gone now, but they're not going to take it away, that's for sure.
This one is going to stay. It's been right where I remember from when they first put cement in it. And the little rock that was going to go in the hole, that had been the school rock up to that time, disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. I think for the time being, the group of guys that got together took it off somewhere so that it wouldn't be cemented in. I don't know just where that little rock went or what its fate has been, but this has become the school rock, and it's been here since at least about 1962, when I was, if I remember right, 62 was the year.
Yeah, because there was never anything in the parkway there. It always was just...
Well, Skip naturally loved people. Skip had a magnetic personality, and whether he was working with someone in the maintenance department or someone in the Board of Trustees room, he could relate to those people. He had integrity, he had a genuine interest in them, he cared about them. He helped all of us be the best we could be. That was just Skip's personality.
Australia and Scotland and some of the other countries would do business with them. And we have, I'm in the credit union industry, and one of our credit unions is in the building, and we haven't, no, we haven't. And we had the president of the country, our company, and the vice president of our federal affairs were all in Washington, D.C. to attend a meeting. And they had gotten in they were trying to figure something out. And where I was, we actually had letters from people that we communicate with from the other countries. So it wasn't just something that I saw on TV saying, yeah, another country supports us.
Sharpies in that bag? No.
Line up in
One of the
sun.
doctors with DJ experience.
Line up in the sun side.
So Adrian and Elizabeth and Essie, we have more room here. If you can go right behind Eunice is the edge of the camera, and so is Andrew. This is the edge. Awesome. Eunice.
Okay. I can know.
They were afraid you couldn't.
Okay. I can know.
They were afraid you couldn't spell your name.
Yeah, exactly.